everything we did on screen was dictated by the story. And when we took the story on, it's based on a series of books by William Joyce, the children's book author and illustrator, who came up with a whole new set of mythologies and histories for all these characters, because his daughter once asked him if Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny knew each other. And, when you take on something like that, you're kind of duty-bound, at least we felt, to make the story and the presentation of the story worthy of how much mental space these characters took up in our heads when we were kids and how much they do for kids now. So it was really important to do something that was going to have a really big epic scope that would be immersive for the audience. So, the use of 3D and everything we did with the effects, with the dream sand and the snow and all of that, our whole idea was to take the idea that people believe in these characters very seriously and say that is how we want the movie itself to relate to the audience, by kind of bringing you into it and making our town as realistic as possible. There's peeling paint and there's old cars on the street. There's you can see there's all the lights in the windows and whatnot. By making all the Guardians worlds as rich and as fully immersive and surrounding as we could, make them as real as we could.
This movie, for all intents and purposes, is a visual effects movie. Mm-hmm. If it was shot live action, and I was at Digital Domain, I would have fought to get this movie, to be honest with you. It just is that kind of movie, and it's shot that way, and it feels that way.
Once we know what the character design is,
Mm-hmm.
And we don't like to design our characters based on what an actor looks like. These are our characters that we created, and once we had them, we put together the list of the actors we thought had the right voice and the right tone and the right heart, and
Mm-hmm.
They all said yes. We went to each of them and showed them designs and drawings. And
then the Easter Bunny kind of, we knew Hugh was going to be involved, and I guess it kind of came about us thinking about what the character of the bunny was going to be, that it was going to be a little more of like a cowboy kind of tracker, kind of ornery kind of a guy, and I guess we ended up like actually listening to the Australian accent from Australia, where
right.
he had played a character that was very close to what Bunny was going to be, and it just felt like, well,
that fit, yeah.
Let's just have him do that, and
there's a series of 13 books that are being released. I think about 6 are out right now. And so as he was writing the mythologies and the deep, deep background for all of the characters, we were developing the movie, but he's been incredibly involved for the last 4 years, and he's so happy and thrilled with how it turned out. It's a labor of love for him and for us, but it was a great collaboration.
They kind of complement each other more than one is based on the other, so
Yeah.
it worked really well, actually.
And, we were showing him all of our artwork, and he'd chime in, and he and I would talk about movie references. And,
and the designs are all based
geek out over
on
that.
his early designs that he had been carrying around with him for 20 years. So they're very closely integrated.
Guillermo, who's like, he's a lot like North in the movie. He's big guy, really excited and passionate and full of energy, and he was like the greatest cheerleader and the greatest support, and shoulder to cry on, and was always there to make sure that we were, staying passionate about the things we had been passionate about in the first place, and not let go of the great stuff. I mean, and all the stuff that meant something to him, the magic and the fantasy and the childhood stuff was the same stuff that we loved. So.
Yeah.